In the heart of Southeast Asia lies Bangladesh, a small, green country, beautiful in its own way. Overpopulated? Yes. Bangladesh is not a developed country yet. Officially, it says we are a developing country. Some may even go further to say we are an underdeveloped country. But that's no reason for us not to enjoy our lives here. Bangladesh was beautiful enough for the Pope to visit. The sun shines brighter every day, birds are louder every day, and we never forget what we went through to get this freedom. We never forget what we had to give up, the enormous cost we paid to speak the words we speak, to walk the streets we walk, to celebrate this country, this life, and this freedom. The monuments, memorials, and museums to commemorate the heroes who made this freedom possible today stand still, stand proud. Today, we will walk you through a few of our most precious ones commemorating the heroes of our country. We begin in 1952, one of the darkest hours of our history. We were not allowed to speak our native language, Bangla, by the then Pakistani government. On 21st and 22nd February 1952, students of Dhaka University and Dhaka Medical College and other political activists were killed when the Pakistani police force opened fire. To honor the brave heroes of 1952, the Shahid Minar Martyr Monument was erected.
Today we are going back to 1952, where the first movement towards our independence started. The Pakistani government has declared Urdu as the native language for the whole Pakistan. On the protest of it, the students of Dhaka Medical College and Dhaka University stepped out and came near to Dhaka Medical College to protest against it. And while protesting, they were killed by the police of Pakistani government. The monument right behind me is the symbol of the martyrs who sacrificed their life for recognizing Bangla as our mother language. The monument first was established at 1963 and it stood till 1971. After the Operation Searchlight, it was totally demolished. Bangladesh got independent. It was again rebuilt in 1971.
The enormous design includes a half-circular arrangement of columns to symbolize the mother with her fallen sons, standing on the monument's central dais and the red sun shining behind. The central Shahid Minar of Dhaka goes up to a height of 40 meters and was made of marble stones. The stairs and barriers are highlighted in white to create a divine look. The fence on both sides is painted with lines from poems of legendary poets in iron letters. As the visitors enter the monument, they will find two statues of the patriots who sacrificed their lives in that heroic police firing of 1952.
We're now in 1971, a nation ruled by a government that would not let us rise, would not let us practice our human rights. Children and young men living in terror and injustice. A land so badly in need of a father, and he delivered.
Now, I'm standing in front of the tomb of the three national leaders who are known as Sher Bangla A.K. Fazlul Haq, Sir Hussain Shahid Sarwati, and Sir Khwaja Nazimuddin. These three national leaders played a significant role for the independence of Bangladesh during the pre-revolution period. These three national leaders were the prime ministers of Pakistan before independence of Bangladesh. Sher Bangla A.K. Fazlul Haq, along with Sir Shahid Sarwati, formed an alliance group during the election of 1954, which was named as the United Front. The United Front won the majority seats of East Pakistan, and they formed the government. During that time, Sir A.K. Fazlul Haq was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. And after that, during the year of 1956 to 1957, Sir Hussain Shahid Sarwati was the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Later on, we have found out that Sir Hussain Shahid Sarwati was the founder of Awami League, and on the other hand, Sher Bangla A.K. Fazlul Haq was the founder of Bangladesh Krishik Shramik Party.
This is Shika Chironton, a fire that burns forever. This is a monument that has a great significance in our history.
Right now, I am standing in front of Sarwardi Utan, which is located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Right now, I am standing in front of the Shika Chironton, Dita, which is located in the Sarwardi Utan. The Chironton Shika symbolizes the ignite of fire which aroused in the heart of the Bengali nationalists after the speech of 7 March of 1971. Our founding father of Bangladesh, Mr. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, conducted his historic speech in this ground where 10 million people joined the movement and supported the movement. In that speech, he directed to the nation, to the people of the Bangladesh about the independence of Bangladesh. And this ignite of fire actually symbolizes the Chironton Shika, which means that this Chironton Shika would be present in the heart of Bengalis during the whole still the existence of this art, and we the Bengalis will stand against the oppressive behavior.
Shadhinota Stambho, or Independence Tower, is a national monument in Bangladesh to commemorate the historical events that took place in the Sohrawardi Udan. Again, not far from where we just were. Boy, this is beginning to look like we are lazy, but in reality, most of the groundbreaking historical breakthroughs for our nation have taken place in this very area. Here's yours truly, Naz.
Hello, I'm standing in front of the Independence Tower, which was built for the memory of 1971 Liberation War. It was the most beautiful monument you will ever see, not just because of the architectural value, but because of the scientific value it has. The government took initiative to build this monument in 1996, but it was built later on 1999 by the architecture Marina Tabassum and Kashif Mahmud. The main attraction of the project, 50-meter high tower composed of stacked glass panel which stand at the place where Pakistani army surrendered and signed at the end of the war 1971.
Up our backpacks to go look for the other monuments, and next in our list is the most empowering statue of our country. Aparajeo Bangla, a statue that shows how every man and woman fought side by side for our freedom in 1971.
The sculpture work of the statue was started at the end of 1973 based on the design of the famous sculptor Syed Abdullah Khalid. As you can see from top to bottom, the statue is around 18 feet tall. At the center of the statue, you can see a farmer whose shoulder is a rifle and whose hand is a grenade, and he represents the general people of the country. And at the left side of the statue, you can see a lady who is holding a first aid box in her hand, and that represents that she is a nurse. At the right side of the statue, we can find a student who is just wearing a pant and holding a rifle in his hand. That represents that he is the general youth of this country. So together, the three represent the strength of the Bengal.
We now enter the Museum of Independence, a beautiful museum built to remember the history of this land from the Mughal era to our independence. This museum is situated right beneath the Shadhinota Stambho, but a beautiful place to learn about our history. The underground museum is a part of a master plan that includes a multimedia projection theatre, an amphitheatre, 3 water pools, and lots of other attractions. There is also a 155-seat auditorium in the complex. Bangladeshi architects Kashif Mahmud Chowdhury and Marina Tabassum won a national design competition in 1997 for this project. The total construction cost of the complex was 1.75 billion taka. The museum has a collection of over 300 historic photographs in 144 glass panels that depict the history of Bangladesh. The gallery also showcases some of the significant archaeological sites and monuments of Bangladesh. Here's Karishma interviewing a lovely couple who visited this museum. Night slowly falls, and we climb up towards the Independence Tower again. As soon as we gaze onto the breathtaking view of the tower at night, our tired minds wake up instantly. The view truly was worth the wait. As another brand new day begins, we head towards Sava, Dhaka, to visit our national monument, the grandest of them all, Jatiyo Shriti Shodho, also known as National Martyrs Memorial. The monument is located in Sava, about 35 kilometers northwest of the capital, Dhaka. We traveled quite a bit for this, so not lazy at all.
I'm standing by the beautiful memorial dedicated to our freedom fighters of liberation war. This gorgeous memorial was set up in the memory of valor and sacrifice of our freedom fighters of liberation war, which brought independence to Bangladesh from Pakistan. This architecture is composed with 7 triangular-shaped pillars or prisms. The outermost part being the shortest in height but widest in span. The inner pairs gradually change their aspect of ratio, and the innermost pair thus forms the peak point of the architecture. These 7 pillars of this monument represent 7 significant historical moments of Bangladesh, namely the language movement in 1952, the election of United in Front in 1954, the Constitution movement in 1956, the education movement in 1962, 6-point movement in 1966, the mass uprising in 1969, and finally the climate of the liberation war in 1971.
This memorial is of the greatest significance and is our national memorial because it ties all of our struggles together from 1952 to 1971. Here's Rafiul interviewing a visitor.
আপনার আজকে এখানে এসে আপনার অনুভূতি কি?
আমার খুব ভালো লাগতেছে মুক্তিযোদ্ধাদের জন্য আমরা এখানে আসতে পারছি আজকে।
এই আপনি বাংলাদেশকে এখানে যে আসছেন, বাংলাদেশকে আপনার কতটুকু স্বাধীন বলে মনে হয় এখন?
বাংলাদেশের সম্পূর্ণ স্বাধীন মনে হয়, বাংলাদেশ একটি সম্পূর্ণ স্বাধীন দেশ। ঠিক আছে।
We may not be the richest, we may not be the fanciest, and our country may be a bit overpopulated. But sure as heaven, we love our country with all our hearts. We went to the celebration of 16th December, the Victory Day, around Shahid Mina this year. Everyone was enjoying their freedom in their own ways, even this young man with his Snapchat stories. An entire generation of youth dedicated to improve our country, together as friends. And although our struggle goes on, to even earn the daily bread sometimes, always in our hearts rest the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for this land, for us, for our freedom. For us to hold our heads up high and say,
I love Bangladesh.
I love Bangladesh.
I love Bangladesh.
I love Bangladesh. I love Bangladesh. I love Bangladesh.
সাগর রক্তে বাংলার স্বাধীনতা আনলে যারা, আমরা তোমাদের ভুলব না, আমরা তোমাদের ভুলব না। দুঃসহ বেদনারে কণ্টক পথবে, শোষণের না পাশ ছিঁড়লে যারা, আমরা তোমাদের ভুলব না, আমরা তোমাদের